All right, we're taking your calls on all things Tottenham. Are they still a part of the Big Six? What is your answer to that? We don't know your answer yet.
Well, in terms of revenue and certainly their performances the last 2 seasons suggest not.
Yeah.
And the moment, if the worst comes to the worst and they go down, no, they're not. But currently, when people talk about Spurs, they still talk about him in the light with the big boys in terms of the stadium, the training ground, the infrastructure.
Well, that's it, right? Infrastructure is the stadium, the training ground. That's another word you've used. You don't need to.
No, but I want to put that in there because it sounded good.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's what people do. They use a lot of words, but there's only really 2: stadium and training ground, right?
But you know what the difference is that if they go down, they're not. But say Man United went to somehow went down, they probably still would be because of the size of the club.
Yeah, but I mean, that would never happen.
Yeah, but people probably said that about Tottenham. That would never happen.
No.
Come on.
I know, but because Man United haven't gone down, it's an argument.
I'd probably say they're not.
They're not?
No.
Okay.
But they won the Euros.
I know, well. Let's talk to John. He's a Spurs fan. Hello, John. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I've traumatised by Spurs this season, but, it's never dull, is it? You know.
No. Do you fancy it tomorrow?
I know I haven't fancied it since Thomas Frank got appointed, to be honest. It's like going to the dentist for a filling that you need. It's kind of better when it's over. It's from the highs of winning the Europa League and the real high of Angie's first 20-odd games in charge when we were playing probably the best football in Europe and blowing teams away to where we are now. It's inconceivable that it's the same team. I would just like to say, in terms of Big Six, it's stadium size, training ground, and it's the global fan base and the global reach of the club. When Arsenal weren't hitting the Champions League for years and we were finishing above them, no one said that they weren't a big club. When Man U was struggling to get into Europe, for those seasons, they were still a big club. Liverpool were a big club when they were mediocre.
Can I ask you, if Spurs go down, they'll have the same training ground, they'll have the same stadium, and they'll still have the same fan base and infrastructure around the world. None of that would change. So you suggested if they go down, they're still a top 6 club?
Well, they're not a top 6 club. I'd say in terms of revenue in this country and income and size and power of the club, they are. Where they are currently in the league doesn't determine the size of.
That's what I'm asking. So if they go down, all that stays. Are they still a top 6 club then?
Probably not top 6. I'd probably say like top 8, but they are still a power, and I'd say they're probably buyable and a brandable. And if you were sat out there with millions to buy a football club, they would be probably one of the top 6 choices that anybody would want to buy out of all of them. Like you look at Newcastle, like I think you'd still rather buy Spurs in the Championship than Newcastle now, and that's no disrespect to Newcastle.
I think you would.
And I think one of the things I just wanted to point out that I've seen as a pattern over the last few seasons, since we had these stupid fair play financial rules, when teams go into Europe, they don't have the money available to spend to expand their squads necessary to cope with the extra 20-odd games. And that's why we're getting more injuries. It's happened to Villa, Palace, Forest, Newcastle. Like Spurs will be fine next season with the squad we've got with 38 games. Like you look how easy it's been for Man U this season, barely playing any football because they haven't got all those games. But Man U, because the way the rules are, they can go and spend 300 million in the summer and be absolutely fine.
Do you know what's crazy? The only thing I'd say about that quote, he's right in terms about they were finishing above Arsenal and all that, right? But my point is that for all them times finishing above Arsenal, they had nothing to show for it. There's no trophies coming in, right? So then, and rightly so, you're going to have teams like Villa, even Forest to some extent, they're going to go, well done, look what we've won compared to what they've won. So how are they, but, do you know what I mean?
I think the point he made about if you've got billions and you want to buy a club, Spurs will be in the top 6 of clubs you'd buy. I totally agree.
Yeah, not in the Championship, it's not.
Oh, I think they are.
You wouldn't buy Newcastle in the Prem over Spurs in the Champ.
No, you mean the other way around. You wouldn't buy Spurs.
If Newcastle in the Premier League.
I would.
You'd rather buy Spurs in the Championship.
I'm not buying a club for one season. I'm buying it for like 10 or 20, right? I'd rather buy a club with the infrastructure, we're using that word again, and the stadium and the setup Tottenham have got whilst they're in the Championship, knowing that they're going to get out of it in a year or two.
Yeah, but they might not. There's no Leeds would have said the same thing. Forest would have said the same thing.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
And it bounced around league.
But you've got to finish 8th now to have a chance of getting out.
Yeah, okay, that helps.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't go up and you're finished 8th.
Yeah, there's something wrong there.